coming to you live with Tuesday Top Tips. I'm so excited to be here today, and I think I have a really cool message for you. I'm calling it the graduation program, how to keep your clients forever without being pushy. And actually, if I were to say this correctly, it would be not just without being pushy, but you would actually be able to keep those clients forever because they see you as a trusted advisor. So I'm really excited to bring this content to you today. Thank you so much for being here with me. And please feel free to message in the comments if you do have any questions that I can help you with. And if you find that this content on the graduation program is exciting, which I think then a great benefit to my businesses. And we'll talk about that here in this live. But I would love to help you in that process. Okay. So again, my topic for today is the graduation program, how to keep clients forever without being pushy. Actually, how you can do it and actually build yourself as a trusted advisor, someone who wants to stay with you forever because of the benefits and the value they get out of that process. So again, thank you for being here. My name is Alicia Alt. I'm the founder of Level Up Score. I'm going to show you how I use this graduation program to keep clients forever and to provide more value to my clients. So stick with me so I can show you how to do it too. So the big why, people work really, really hard to have great credit. I'm sure you guys would agree with me. And then we just let them go. So are you guilty of that? You have a client and you help them improve their credit, maybe for a major goal that they have. And then they're like, oh, I got everything that I needed from you. And then bye. Right. And that's what I feel like a lot of us do. And in doing that, we're not actually positioning ourselves as this trusted advisor, right? So that would be the fixer mentality. We fix it by come back when it's a problem again, right? But we are not fixers here at Level Up Score. All of the users of Level Up Score, all of my friends, and those of you who follow me here, we're all success bosses. We're true partners in the credit process. And so, since credit is not this one-time event, it's a living financial profile, right? Just like, a business plan is a living document, right? A living will is a will that's living. So it's constantly changing. Life will change with new credit events that the consumer might have, new debt, new goals, new mistakes, new life events, right? And so the graduation program that I'm going to describe to you is about not that it's the end of the relationship, but it's the beginning of this long-term relationship. Okay. And so, I think about like when we graduate from college, let's say, it's the beginning of our journey of learning. Hopefully, that's the way that we see it. And so we're continuously learning throughout our lives because we learned how to learn, right? And so with the credit profile, when we put them in the graduation program, the idea is that we're helping them continue to have good credit, continue to understand their credit, and continue to learn about their credit and be there when life events happen. Right. And so that is the big why of why I think the graduation program is so very important. But if we are true success bosses, which I know you guys are because you're listening to me, and that's what we're here for. If we're true success bosses, then we are going to be the trusted advisor, right? We're not fixers. We're here for the long haul. We're here to be a good steward to them, right? And so I like this little saying down here, graduation is not the end of the relationship. It's the beginning of long-term stewardship. And I love this word stewardship because I feel like it's a responsibility that we have. And I just love that word and what it means to me. But we're going to be their trusted advisor. And that's the idea behind this. Okay. So now what is the graduation program really? Like, what am I talking about here? So the graduation program is not a full service credit dispute process, credit repair. It's not that heavy touch weekly coaching that we might do now if the person's in full service. And it certainly isn't credit repair forever, right? So it's not those things. What it is it's ongoing credit monitoring. So we're going to be monitoring their credit. We're going to show them the importance of them monitoring their own credit, monitoring their own life events, ongoing action plans. They're constantly seeing what happens when they make this move. Is it a positive move for their credit and financial profile, or is it a negative move? So they're learning and they're being able to take action appropriately by constantly having these action plans. And of course, that's what Level Up Score delivers. So we got the credit monitoring piece. They need to know what's going on at all times. They got the action plan piece where they can see how what they're doing in their life is affecting their credit and financial standing. And then we have what I love best about the graduation program is the periodic professional oversight. And this provides a safety net when life happens to the client, right? Which is going to happen. We have changes in our life all the time, ups and downs, up and downs. And so what I like about this periodic professional oversight is that you're there as their trusted advisor to continue to look over their credit profile to see how can I help you? How can we continue to have great credit? How can we plan for another life event? Maybe it's not a surprise life event. Maybe it's a planned life event, buying a new home or a new car or whatever that is. You can be there as a trusted advisor. And this really gives them a sense of confidence that they can make a move and they can have you there beside them and some accountability of their own behaviors because they're going to get the action plan. And if the action plan shows up every month and says, hey, you maxed out on your credit cards, this is a negative event to your credit profile, then it provides them with that accountability to say, okay, I messed up here and that's okay because I can fix it because the action plan is telling me how to fix that. Right. And so it's such a great peace of mind for a consumer to have. They worked really hard for the great credit. They need and deserve to keep that. And then a plan before problems become emergencies, right? So they can kind of see, is there a trend of activity that's creating a negative credit or financial event? And if that's the case, how can we find a way to keep that from continuing to happen, right? So they can do that on their own by seeing these action plans and getting those credit monitoring updates. Or maybe there's something that pops up on their credit report that's absolutely not theirs. It's identity theft, right? We can grab a hold of that before it becomes a huge unnecessary problem because of lack of knowledge about that happening. I say this often, but having credit monitoring is absolutely essential in today's atmosphere. And so I encourage you to encourage your clients to participate in this graduation program. Maybe you don't charge a fee. I don't charge a fee for the graduation program. As long as they stay on their credit monitoring, that's all that matters. They're going to have their credit monitoring, they're going to have their action plan, and then periodically, I do it every 3 months, every quarter. I'm going to personally, professionally look over that to see if there are any issues, kind of check in with them, make sure if they have any new goals coming up, that kind of thing. It's a beautiful experience to have with your consumers, and it puts you always front and center in their mind, but they also see you as a trusted advisor, not a fixer, not a salesperson, but someone who truly cares. And I know that you guys do. And this is one way that you can show that, right? So now, if we think about this program of graduation program, how do we transition someone from that? Okay, so I'm gonna share with you the most obvious, and then I'm gonna share with you something that you might not have considered and maybe have a little objection to. Okay, and I want to hear if you guys have objections to this next one that I'm going to show you after I do this one. I want to know. Put it in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are because I would love to get that feedback and see what you think. And I'll give you my perspective on it as well. But I'd love to see that. But let's go for the most obvious transition, and this is key, right? You have a client who comes in for full service credit coaching. They graduate. That means they went through the entire journey and they got to the credit goal that you promised that you were going to help them with, whether that's buy a house, buy a car, whatever that might be, right? So obviously that's the way we would love all our clients to go, right? They come to us full service, we take them through the whole journey, they get to their goal, ideal path to a graduation program. Great. So what does the graduation program include? They keep their credit monitoring active. We do monthly automated action plans to them so they get that information and we can see their profile, they can see their profile at all times, and we stay front and center, right? And then of course, I do it every quarter. I do a professional oversight. How are things going? Are we on pace? Is there something that's becoming an issue? Do I see a negative pattern, right, that I can help them address? So how do you do this? How do you present this? If you're not doing a graduation program, how do you present this to your clients? It's super, super easy and they will appreciate it, but you can't sound salesy. It can't be that you're just trying to hang them on. And that is one of the reasons why I do not charge a fee for the graduation program. And it's just that they need to stay on my credit monitoring, which in turn obviously creates another funnel of residual income that I receive from the credit monitoring company as an affiliate, right? So there's benefits to that. But the language I like to use is you don't need full service right now. That is a huge win for you. But we don't want to remove the guardrails. We don't want to be out there and not have this safety net, this oversight, right? We need to be in charge of credit at all times. The reason we came into this problem was lack of oversight, right? So let's not do that again, right? You worked really, really hard for this. Let's keep it that way, right? I'm going to be in your corner. I'm your trusted advisor. and I'm gonna watch and make sure that things are going well from you. You're going to get an action plan every month to make sure that you're making the right decisions for your credit and finances. And then every 3 months, I'm going to check it out. Now, in the event that you see something before the 3 months that you need addressed, or life event is coming up before that 3 months, you can notify me and let me know. And we can jump in and resolve this together. So that's kind of, I'm just giving you some language that I would use to introduce that graduation program. And people love it. People know how hard they worked for that credit, right? And so they deserve to continue to have great credit. And that's what we're offering them, is to be there for them. Okay. So here's option number two. This is the one that you might like object to a little bit, push back on me a little bit, but I promise you it's one of the best things that I did for my company. So client leaves early. And I do have opinion that most credit professionals mess up here, because we think, oh, a client leaves early, they don't want to work with us, whatever. We're not going to work for them. We're not going to do anything for them. They're not paying us. Well, I understand that your time is valuable, your energy is valuable, your expertise is valuable. All of those things are true. But people don't leave early because they don't have a problem. They don't leave early because they're getting great results and they don't want any better results, right? They usually leave early because of maybe a financial problem in their lives. Maybe they're too busy. Maybe they're uncomfortable in the process, right? There's all kinds of things that come up in life, and you know it and I know it. Have you ever gotten involved in something and then you actually didn't do it? This just happened to me recently. I paid for something, I haven't even done it. So why? Because I became busy, right? And so think of yourself, you are a consumer. Think of how your own actions can be, and understand that your clients are going to be the same way, right? Now, sometimes clients quit because they don't see themselves getting the results that you promised, but maybe you promised something you couldn't promise. We've talked about that a number of times. I'm actually going to do another live event like I did a couple Fridays ago. So I want you guys to follow Level Up Score, make sure you're getting that information, because that live event is going to be huge and I'm really excited to do it. But I talk about this. How do we promise what we can do and promise to deliver the journey to them of what they can do, right? Putting that accountability and that ownership on them, making them the heroes of their own story. So that's what we'll be doing that in a couple weeks. That'll be February 6th. We'll do that live. So please join me. Please follow so you can get registered. We'll be advertising that live here very soon. But here we have client option number two. Client leaves early. They didn't finish the program. So why would we put them on graduation? That's like you're in college, you didn't finish the courses, and they say, oh, we're going to graduate you anyway. No, it's different. It's a way for us to keep open communication. It also kind of removes that shame and friction, because oftentimes they quit because of something that they would feel shameful for. For instance, they couldn't afford it anymore. Life events happened. They got busy. This is not as important as they thought it was, whatever the case might be. And so it helps to remove that shame and friction, and it creates a soft re-entry point to you. If they had struggled during the program, the full service of trying to decide if you were someone who is a salesperson and not really helping them versus a trusted advisor, this is where you flip that script. This is where they start feeling, oh no, she really is a trusted advisor. She wasn't just trying to sell me on a journey. She actually wants to deliver on that. And so it's quite easy. We give them that graduation program. They stay on the credit monitoring. We still give them the action plans, and we do a quarterly review. Do you know this is one of my biggest ways of earning other people's business? Because these same people who left me early end up re-enrolling, right? I build up additional trust in case they didn't trust me enough in the beginning. But then on the other flip side of that, do you know they tell everybody about me? Everybody about me. So I don't have to go out and buy and pay for ads and leads and all this stuff. I have an influx coming into me because of the quality work that I do and the trust that I've built. Does that make sense? This single thing that I changed in my business has been a game changer for my entire business practices, and something I will never stop doing. It has been a value add to the clients who work with me. It's been a huge value add to my business. And, I get to be the trusted advisor that I say that I am, right? And so consider this, okay? Will it cost you to deliver this? Well, maybe. If you're like me and I don't charge for the graduation program, You stay in credit monitoring. I'm going to make the affiliate income from the credit monitoring. So I get something. It's like I get nothing. But I do deliver these action plans and I do give up my time every 3 months to do an oversight view. But the return that I get from that is way bigger than the cost that I gave or the time that I gave, not just for what I've done for the community, what I've done for myself and and how I feel about myself, but also in my bank account. Again, it was one of the single best things that I ever did was to deliver this graduation program to everybody regardless. Okay. Quarterly review. So I want to talk about this because this is how I set everything up. And I just want to, if this resonates with you, kind of give you some information on how I do that and what that looks like. So, most professionals do reviews. So quarterly, yearly. So this means that this client that they have is no longer paying them in a lot of instances, or they're just making a residual off of this, right? But they're coming to this person to do a review. Why? Is to keep them front, to make sure they're the person they're going to call on. They're being the trusted advisor, right? So we know financial advisors do it. So if you have a financial advisor, you know what I'm talking about. CPAs do it. My CPA calls me all the time. Insurance agents do it, right? They want to do a yearly review so you don't run off to another insurance agent each year. Wealth managers do it. Real estate agents are really great at doing yearly reviews. I wish that loan officers would be better at it, but a lot of credit professionals and financial professionals do reviews. Why do they do that? Because they find a huge value in retaining the client that they work so hard to get, because it's a lot easier to keep a client than it is to get one. So retaining that client, providing more value for that client, they get so many more referrals from that client, right? And what does it take? So there's a very simple structure. It takes usually between 10 to 15 minutes and sometimes less. Sometimes it takes me a couple minutes to do a quarterly review, but I'm looking at their credit profile. I'm looking at their action plan. I'm looking at what changed. Are there any new accounts? Is there any new risks, any new errors, any new negatives? Any upcoming goals? I'll ask them if you do have an upcoming goal that's happening in your life, a savings goal, buying a house, buying a car, a new baby. Like, is there something new that's changing in your life that could change the way that your credit profile and your financial profile looks? So when we do it, this is what clients hear. They hear someone's watching my credit with me. I'm not alone. If something goes wrong, I already have a plan. If something goes wrong, I know who to call. I have someone has my back, right? How good does that feel? That builds that confidence, it builds trust, all of these things that you're providing to them. And then in return, they're going to give you so much more value back to you. So, and let me keep this, I would like to make sure that I address this. Quarterly reviews are not sales reviews. You're not doing quarterly review, in my opinion. You should not be doing quarterly review just to find a way that they would become a client and pay you for something. That's not the idea. It's not about selling them back into your full service unless it's needed, right? If it's needed, obviously, let's do it. But it's about making sure that everything's okay with them. But it is also a great time to say, hey, so-and-so, you're doing great. You're winning. You've worked hard. You're continuing to work hard. I'm so proud of you. You know, I got your back. If anything happens, I'm here. Call me if there's a problem. Call me if a new goal happens. I'm here for you. And by the way, do you know anyone else that would like this level of service? Do you know someone in your family or a friend that's working on a really big goal, like buying a house or buying a car that I can help assist them with? Oftentimes the answer is, oh, yeah, actually, right? Or I think I do. I'm going to get back to you, right? So these are things you're, again, continuously every 3 months back in their face, center of attention with them. You're showing them that you're their trusted advisor. You're pouring in value to them. And then in return, they're seeing you as that trusted advisor. And they're able to say, oh, yeah, Allie. So when they talk to someone who has a credit issue, Allie, right? They're always going to remember that I would be the person that they would refer their client to talk to, right? Does that make sense? It's such a big value add. Telling you guys, if you're not doing it, do it this week. Like seriously, I can't tell you enough of how important that was for my business. And I really believe that that would be for you as well. Okay, so the next part is revenue plus trusted advisor status. So here's what the graduation program creates. It's going to create reoccurring revenue, right? Especially even if you're not charging a fee for a graduation program, which I recommend. You're still making recurring revenue because you will be making that affiliate income off of the credit monitoring, right? Long-term client lifetime value. You keep your clients forever. They don't want to leave you. They want you to be there because they work so hard for this credit, right? And if they knew that you were going to be with them and holding their hand and having their back, there's nothing better than that, right? It's going to create more referrals for you. It's going to create additional authority because you're building trust, right? So when we go to this trusted advisor shift, you're no longer a credit repair technician or what I like to refer to as the fixers, right? You are a credit professional. Guys, you're the success bosses out there. You're the part of their financial ecosystem. Think about this for a second. You become a part of their financial ecosystem. What does that mean? If they go to do a large purchase or make some decisions in their life, guess who they want to be a part of that decision-making process? Do you know how many of my clients from years ago, because they are on this graduation program, before they go and talk to a loan officer, they call me, right? Or before they talk to a real estate agent, they call me. They actually ask me if I like the loan officer or the real estate agent. And because they've trusted me. So they feel like, hey, if I can trust Alicia, then I know that if she recommends this real estate agent or this loan officer or this insurance agent, I'm probably in good hands, right? So it's a really cool position to be in, but you can truly be a part of their financial ecosystem. So it's such a powerful place to be to help them because you know things that other professionals don't know. And this can be very important in their financial decision making. So I said this earlier, but it costs more to acquire a new client than to retain one. So if we look at, credit monitoring, right? You're making $20, $50 per month from the graduation program client, right? For years. And this is more valuable than any one-time full service client you have. Think about that for a second. For years, you would be making this residual income from just the credit monitoring, right? I have clients years, guys, years. But not only that, but they're referring other people to me, right? If they need me for full service again or something else, I'm there and they're going to contact me. Right? So all these things, so I'm not leaving them on the table. So again, trusted advisor creates this shift. I really want you guys to look at, and we're going to talk about this in the live a couple Fridays from now. So mark that on your calendar. It'll be 2 p.m. Friday, February 6th. Okay, mark your calendar for that because we're going to go live and I'm going to deep dive into this some more because you guys deserve to be success bosses. Your clients deserve that from you too. And we need to get away from this whole fixer mindset, right? It's not serving anybody. And so we can become true credit professionals, and I want to help you get there. So think about this, consider this. Okay. So I'm going to give you some real scenarios of how the graduation program will work. So scenario number one, you have the home buyer. Graduates after a mortgage approval, stays on monitoring, they avoid mistakes post-closing, right? So this is the person who came in and went through the entire journey with you, right? Say scenario number two, we talked about this, the quitter. They leave early, they still get the action plans, and they usually come back when they're ready, right? And sometimes when they don't come back, they send a lot of people your way anyway, okay? And then scenario three, and I love this, and I talk about this all the time in my live calls that I do, but the perfect credit client. They don't need your disputes. So what are you going to sell them if you're a fixer? You're going to sell them on how to pay down their credit card balances? They already know that. So when you have this graduation program and you come across a person who has a perfect credit profile in all respects, that is okay. You can still have them on your graduation program because they still need that strategy. They still need oversight from you. It's super valuable for them to have that. And if they can get that by just keeping their credit monitoring profile open, why wouldn't they? They need the credit monitoring anyway. They should. I hope they are. It's very, very important. And if you're not delivering that message to your clients that they should keep credit monitoring forever, you're missing out not only on your affiliate income that you could be making from that credit monitoring, but certainly for the value that you would be bringing to the consumer. It's important. When we think about, credit monitoring resources like Smart Credit, for instance, and I know a lot of them have it. I'm just giving you Smart Credit because I'm very familiar, but they have the $1 million insurance policy to protect against identity theft. It has the Privacy Master, which looks for the dark web and other websites to see where information is being sold. Just that is valuable to have. right? Just that. Forget that I get to see and get notifications if something changes on my credit profile. I get to see my credit report. I get to see if a negative thing that's not even mine pops up on the credit report, right? I get action plans from my credit professional that says, hey, here's how you need to better utilize your credit, right? I get an oversight from a professional. It is an absolute 100% no-brainer. Right. And so you can use this for that perfect credit client as well. Okay. All right. So I'm going to end with this. The graduation programs don't trap clients, they protect them. This is not the idea is not that we're trapping them into our ecosystem and we're not letting them out. It's not about that. It's about helping protect them. They've worked so hard for good credit and they deserve to keep it, right? It doesn't create dependency on you. It actually creates confidence. They start to learn from these action plans what they should do, what they shouldn't do, what actions create a negative profile, what actions create a positive profile. So they create confidence in that. But they also have the confidence in knowing that if they mess up, you got their back, right? And they don't reduce your value. And I think that's why a lot of people, when someone cancels out of their program, don't want to offer the action plans. They don't want to offer anything to the person because you exit out of my program. Why should I give you anything? I worked really hard for this, right? I don't want to give you my secret sauce so you could do it on your own. That's not what it does, guys. That's not what it does. It multiplies your value by continuing to build trust with that person that you're a true credit professional. You're a trusted advisor. You're a level up score success boss, right? You're building that. They're going to send referrals to you. They're going to be lifetime clients of yours. There's nothing better than that, guys. It's so easy. And you guys know, every one of you know this. I can go get ads for leads, right? Do ads for leads, and they're going to be hard to close. But when I get a referral, it's easy. The person's already been sold because the other person on the other line who sold them to me has already talked about the value that they're getting, right? Does that make sense? So I don't have to do the heavy lifting. I just got to answer the phone or answer the email or however I'm doing it, right? And when you start doing this on a larger scale, you will get people who message you and say, "I had 3 people who referred you to me." What a great feeling. So stick with it, success bosses. It's extra work to be a success box, but it's extra work to be a success boss, but it is so rewarding. Not just for yourself, not the value you give to your clients, but your bank account. So I have a QR code right down at the bottom of the screen. This QR code will take you to Level Up Score. If you're not yet a success boss on Level Up Score, I encourage you to jump in, sign up for your free demo, and jump in the call with me. Let's see how we can structure this. Let's see how you can make additional revenue. And guess what? These graduation programs, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't take much more work from you, and you can deliver high value and earn some additional income. I appreciate you all. Thank you for being with me on Tuesday's Top Tips. I will see you next week, and look out for that information about the Fridays live on February 6th at 2 p.m. I appreciate you all. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.